Oh.
Hello guys and welcome. Today we are going to do a replay VOD review workshop, basically just going through what you can do with the replay feature. We are going to use shared replays sent in by community members. If you want your game featured, make sure to send it in the chat or on Discord. You can also join our Discord. I'm going to post a link right now to the chat. If I don't mistype it, Discord. Yeah, so you can use that to join if you are not joined already. And we are just going to look at some parts of the matches sent in and check how players can use this for their own benefit. Well, let's get back to the voice. I'm back.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Hello. Okay, so who should we start with?
Probably either Dandy or Light.
I don't have any VODs for you. I'm sorry.
Candy, let's do it.
Witchu!
Hello, Witcher.
Hi.
What's up, brother?
Hi guys, how are you?
Good, you?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you.
Yay!
So, what I'm going to do is share my screen with you guys on Discord. I think that's the easiest.
Possibly.
If I can find the link for that. I think they published the function now, but
Oh, yeah,
I couldn't
it's
find.
go live. It's in the voice connected section right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big brains.
Yeah, then you
Yeah,
click
we've never
import.
50 people now. Ooh.
Where is it?
It's right next to your voice connected thing. There's a little
In the bottom
screen
left,
that
yeah.
says
Go live.
Go live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right by.
Screens.
You find it?
But don't accidentally leave the call. That would be bad.
Okay. I
That
don't
would
see
be
the
amazing.
game.
Please leave.
Just leave.
I only see the game
Is
when
it-
it's windowed. Though.
Is it this one? Doo-doo. Oh no.
Application screens.
There it is.
There we go.
There was a
Everybody join the
noise.
stream. Wee.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So,
Click. A click.
did I copy? I hopefully did.
Hopefully.
Join.
Screen in the stream went weird.
Oh, great. All right.
It looks fine on my end.
There we go.
That don't switch, because switching is dumb and stupid.
Here we go.
Okay, can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I still have trouble with the controls, so I am going to mess this up a few times. Because I really just want to pause and start with space, but it doesn't work. I have to rebind.
Hello.
Hi.
Someone is traveling.
Yes.
Yeah, Guardians, I think on
Okay,
a
I was
train.
just gonna say. Yeah. It's all good. It is all good.
He's riding away from what's happened in the last 48 hours. He's
Oh.
on the run.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh,
we-
that's man. That's the first time anybody's complained about hearing me.
Oh.
Let me get
You're
my
loud.
headphones.
You're loud enough on your own, Cordell. You don't need it.
So, Light, what are we looking at?
The map.
Okay. What shall we look at in this one?
What are you playing? You're playing Arissa, right?
No, I'm on ball right now. I'm Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I found it. Good first try.
Okay.
Epic.
Nice. So, okay. So I'm not going to go through the full VOD. Is there any situation that you want us to dig in? Any team fight or anything that comes to mind, or shall we just see the first one?
Probably just the first one.
Okay. So before we I'm going to go to the beginning here, and then stop right before the team fight and just discuss how you guys use if you
Oh,
use.
Witchu's gone.
He's putting on headphones.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
He's here.
Hi, with you.
I love third person on ball. It's
Yeah.
a great
Yes.
thing.
Okay, so how do you guys use the replay feature at all, or have you used it?
I've used it a bit, not very often though.
Not very often.
So-
Okay.
So the way I use it is kind of like what you have here. Is I use it more for positioning stuff and doing sky view and hitting Control I and seeing all the big map stuff usually,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of see where the teams kind of place themselves. That's what I've used it for in the past with some of the team coaching stuff I've done.
Yep.
But I haven't really used it to go in individually. Yesterday, while I was doing DPS placements, found out I can hop into the replay viewer while being queued for comp. So
Yes.
I sat there and looked at my terrible mechanics and stuff while waiting for the game to start and kind of took notes on what I needed to improve on
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
whatnot.
I-
And so,
Wanted to mention that you can just look at your past replays during queuing, so it's especially useful for DPS with the huge queue times. And it can inspire a lot of people to just, instead of just grinding something during the wait, they can just go in and do a VOD review, because that's useful.
yeah, like alternating between a VOD review and then maybe practicing some aim, things like that in between each session.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
trying to just focus on one hero.
yes. Okay, cool. So you're going into the overview, going into the positional things more like. Anyone else using it differently? Or any specific that you are looking for?
I mostly use it for ult tracking
Mhm.
and use it in comparison to calls. So if we're calling like a specific thing, like somebody has this, and then we go look to cross reference it up here
Mm-hmm.
on the bars, and we're like, oh yeah, no, that was a bad call.
Yeah, you're doing that for the team,
for myself as well.
yourself as well. Cool. All right. Yeah, it's really useful if you're playing in a group or team setting, because you can check back not the communication itself, but how you make the calls and how you react to the enemies. If you were able to track ults, that's also good use. If you are learning how to track ults, and you can, like, you are here maybe second, third team fight, and you try to figure out who has which ult, and you can compare that to the kill feed. See if you can keep track of who is doing well in the enemy team and your team. You can always check your team with a tab screen, but you can also check on yourself if you're able to predict what the enemy has. So these are all good uses. Cool. Yes. So I only had one session coaching in this one. My only concern is the control, that it's not that easy to control and you can't draw on the screen, which is a missing feature from the usual coaching stuff, because it's kind of hard to point out specific things. Like if I want to describe that you should have been going this way, I have to use the camera to do that. Also, I couldn't figure out if I can go back like 1 second or 5 seconds, which can be more useful than 20, because the seek feature is messy at best at some situations. So, but apart from that, it's really good if you can just stop it and look at what is going on. Alright, so shall we look at the first team fight, or do we have a better one?
Yeah, the first team fight is where I'm on ball, so I kind of want to look at that one.
Cool. Alright. So... okay, so what's the idea here?
I was trying to go for like a boop off the high ground.
Boop them off.
See if I can knock anybody off, yeah.
Okay. Anything else that you have in mind right now in a situation like this? Apart from booping people down, do you want to target somebody's, or just going to wreak havoc and try to figure out what's going on then?
Yeah, I just wanted to see like what they're doing and stuff. Like that.
Okay. Cool, let's see how it goes. So, couldn't really boop anybody. Right here. Let's see this setup again. This is where it's not that easy to navigate. Yeah, so, well, any mistake that you guys can spot here? Let's make it a little bit slower. And you can pitch in if you want to.
Is it the placement of where the grapple goes?
Mm-hmm. Kinda, yes. So I suppose you were expecting them to be here at the edge of the... What is this? The high ground?
Yeah.
Okay. So usually with ball, if you come from a blind spot, you don't have information, you are going to have a split second to react. And you can't really boop the Orisa. But you can still try to get around, maybe. And boop the Zenyatta at least. Maybe the distance is too far. Not much to do. Or you could try to boop the Orisa, if you like. That grapple is like a prediction that you didn't overwrite. Apart from that, not much else. Here you go for the health pack after this one. Let's speed this up. Are you calling anything to your team?
Yeah, we were in Discord, so there's no like comms here, but we were calming, yeah.
Okay, so what kind of info do you tell them?
Oh, just like where they're set up, where certain people are standing.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So let's see what the team is doing here. What is happening after the first one? So you go in, you couldn't boop anybody down, so how do you want to rejoin the fight?
Oh, I just by like swinging back in and trying to distract their supports and stuff.
Okay, so do you have a specific target that you want to go after?
The Zen.
Okay, cool. Yes, that's important to always have that target that you are trying to go for, because just generally going into the enemy team is not going to pay off well. Zen is susceptible to damage and you can boop him around easily, as he doesn't have an escape. So that's cool. What about that turret?
The Sigma was over there, and it's not really like doing much at the moment, so I didn't decide to go for it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, you couldn't really do much here alone. Like, you maybe could destroy the turret, but Sigma being there, it's not that easy. Okay, so... going in with a full boop. And trying to focus on the Zen, but you run out of HP.
Yeah, and then I could get back to spawn, and then I swap off ball.
Yeah. Okay, so what could have gone differently in this one? It's a bit too much. Okay, so let's look at the team. How are you coordinating with your team? Do you discuss when you want to go in with the ball?
Yeah, they were like diving 3, 2, 1, and then we all just jumped in.
Mm-hmm. And were you discussing that you are going to arrive late due to the first attempt?
Yeah.
Okay, so they know that you are going to enter late and then you are going to be able to put them around to this point. Alright, so let's see how they react to that. So it's mostly teamwork we are talking about, but as you were communicating, it's one of the most important aspects. Okay. I'm just going to... Did he push up the stairs? The monkey has to pull back, taking a lot of damage. Anything that you can see here? Regarding the team's positioning, the timing?
It was a bit off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So when you're going in with a dive is really communication heavy. You have to pay a lot of attention to the sync between team members. One thing here is that the monkey had to draw back and now they are going back in, and with you booping them around... Hello.
Hello.
That could have been a nice opportunity for your team to just get here and try to kill anybody who is being booped to the other side. They are not being protected by the Orisa. Orisa is kind of low, as is.
Yeah,
and also
really
the
low.
Baptist. So, yeah, that's a little bit of a sync issue with the team. So, Just a few seconds, but it matters a lot. Regarding your targeting, you just go in, you try to focus the Zen, but actually there are better targets if you could realize this. Let's see your cam. Again, from this position. Yeah, you already see the Orisa being kinda low. So these are all going really quickly and split-second decisions, but if you don't boop the enemy team here, but go for the Orisa, you might have had a chance to kill her. She was purple. And also the BAP, they were really low just a few seconds ago. So, yeah, any questions?
I just have a question about maybe how the engage happened. Would it have been better to hold off and wait till the Sombra could call where people were before ball went in?
I think you can have enough information from rolling here to there. They are going to be on the high ground, so you have two things that you can do. You can take this fight and try to dive the enemy team, or you can try to distract the enemy team and try to start capping the point, pull some of the attention of the team. Basically, these are the two. It's harder to sync with the team because, as we see, it's 1 or 2 seconds apart from a good timing and a bad timing. So, yeah, I mean, if you're playing with a team, you need to practice how you execute these kind of stuff, and with a Sombra telling info about what is going on, it might have been easier.
Yeah, I was just asking for like the very first engage where before she came out of space to do her rollout, if it would have been better if she would have waited for the Sombra to do a
the very
call.
first.
Yeah,
no, I wouldn't.
The very first.
I mean, I wouldn't do that. Like, the Sombra going in might be a little bit too slow. I'm not sure. Let's check how the Sombra's position was. The first
I was just
one.
curious. Because I know that's usually how Sombra's role is at for most of these.
Hello.
Yeah, the Sombra maybe could tell where the enemies are, so you don't grapple to the side. But here, during the first one, time is of the essence, so you don't really want to spend too much out in the open away from the fight. So.
Okay.
I wouldn't rely on info that much. Anything else that you guys can spot here? Like, not just in the tiny things, but macro-wise? Like how we are fighting, what we are fighting here, stuff like that? Is this a good engage for a dive team? This one?
Well, they have their tank split, so numbers-wise, probably, but the Sigma's got free damage on you guys from, like, the other side.
Yeah, it's...
But he's not close enough for him to get, like, in the fight with his rocker, like, to suck up any damage while... Because that's way too far away for him.
That's
so
right.
I'm not sure. That's kind of... Would that be a good fight? I feel like it would be.
I would, if it's a full engage and you guys are targeting one thing at a time, I would say yes. But I don't think it's a terrible engage. It's just that you're now doing a 5v5. So
yeah, so you are trying to force yourself up there on the stairs with a team who has really, really high mobility, and you are not really using that because you are just like you are confined to a really small space. You could dive the Sigma because he was kind of alone and force him from here to the low ground and maybe pulling down the rest of the team. And this turret does free damage to anyone who is being on the top there, and you can't really shield it. So I feel like this is more annoying, and it has a lot more weaknesses than this position here. So attacking from this side takes away resources from you. It relies on a really good timing, which you didn't really have with the late entrance or the early push from the rest of the team. And this is more vulnerable. You can also just ignore this setup here with the dive team, not with the Ana. That's the only thing, but the rest of the team can go to the point and start pulling the enemy team apart. Because this team with the Torb, with the Mei, with the Bap, with the Zen, they are really strong in holding a choke, and this is kind of like that situation.
Would it have been better to dive and engage the Sig?
I feel like yes, because even if you just go in with the you go in with the 2 tanks and the Genji, you should be able to kill or chase the Sigma away and kill the turret. And the rest of the enemy team, why they can reach you there, sure, but they don't have that much potential compared to this really small space. I feel like.
Yeah.
So
I was just curious.
Makes sense.
Cool. Anything else? You can feel free to ask questions. But generally, this is the strength of this replay viewer, that we can really talk about the positional decisions and check how the ults go, for example, because we see that the Torbjorn, not the turret not being contested, it does a lot of damage. He is charging really fast. The Bap is charging fast on the Orisa. Orisa is in front line, so she's doing a lot of damage. Rest of the team, like the Sigma, is not really taking part in the fight, so he's not in range. He's just being a bot.
Are they playing an updated version of Clockwork? I just noticed.
Of Clockwork Vendetta? Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like that.
Yes.
Oh no.
But it works for them. Yeah, so diving this this team, like if you swap from the ball, what's the next pick? What's
I went to D.Va.
D.Va, yeah. She should be a little bit better at handling this.
Yeah, you guys swapped to more of a...
Yeah, we swapped the standard, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Alright, any other questions in this match? Shall we look at a different one?
Yeah, you could look at a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Unless you have any more questions, I think we can move on.
Okay. Who should be the next one? Do we have replay? Tone, should I?
Yes.
I mean, if you want to take one of the 3, yeah.
Which one?
Please do the McCree one on Hollywood.
No.
First, second, or third?
The second one would be a tank one. First one would be a DPS. Third one will be a DPS.
Let's do the first one.
Bless you.
Okay. Okay.
Is that the McCree one?
Yes. It's the one where I start out on McCree and then it goes utterly crappy. And then I switch to Hanzo and it goes utterly crappy. And then I do my failsafe. I play Junkrat. And things go pretty
crappy. Well,
it doesn't go badly. It goes a little bit better than normal.
Well,
don't well me. Don't patronize me.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about what are you looking for right now in this team.
Okay, so this is from a previous match that I did where I was playing McCree, and I noticed while reviewing myself that I kind of suck at positioning and aiming. So I already knew the aiming was an issue. Positioning-wise was kind of, I was like, I just need to figure out where to position myself better. And I was like, okay, well, with McCree, you want to be on high ground most typically because usually that's where your tanks will go with you. And if not with here on Hollywood, it's okay because then I can roll off to the side and have a wall. And so that's what I was kind of going with. So starting off here, trying to do some damage into the team and hope for the best and maybe hit somebody, probably something big and fat usually. And it kind of hopefully works out there.
Cool. Who can you work with in this team?
I could work with, I could kind of work with the Sig a little bit. That's probably who I would probably want to work with the most because he has the shield. And that would protect me the most. And with his rock, he could stun somebody, bring him down, and then that gives me, that easy peasy target of where I can just bleep and stun them again, and just keep them stun locked, just like the good old days. And then maybe I could hit them in the body or just be the typical memer and just right click. But that's kind of, don't you say that. If Carpe can do it, I can do it too, and
You have
so
no honor, neither does Carpe.
oh, okay. If Sure4 can do it, I can do it too. And so that's kind of where I was going with that. But I wanted to start off on the high ground because, I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that's just how this works.
Okay. You know your memes.
I always know my memes, Alien. You should know this.
Yeah, I know that. Okay, so the high ground is good according to Star Wars lore. Anything that you need to pay attention to? What do you think?
I need to keep an eye out that if they're going a bit of a more divish comp, that I
Yeah.
should probably not be up there for very long. And if they're going to have long range, I should probably not be this far open.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of peaked out probably too far on this one because I don't think I noticed yet if they had a McCree or Ash. I did see the big fat pig man, and I was like, oh, I should probably back up just a wee bit more. And so that's kind of why I tried to change the angle.
Yeah, where
And
would you pull back?
So I'd probably pull just a little bit closer to where the water coolers are and a little bit more of an angle. Probably is where I would go.
So back here?
Yeah, in a sense.
Yep.
I would still probably have a decent sight line on stuff and still be able to pump in damage. And so I don't know if I exactly did that, but upon hindsight and wrinkled brain thinking, that's probably where I should go.
Yeah. So you want to minimize any exposure that you have. Try to hug this wall, for example, and if you go back here, you are going to be able to hit most of their body parts, so to say. But the farther you go back, the smaller you expose yourself to the enemy team. So if you go check the water thingies, if I'm an Ash trying to hit you from here, I only see the top of the water thingies. So the farther back you are, the more advantage you have, the more you use the high ground. If you just stay on the edge of the high ground, you are not really using it. Somewhat you are using it because vertical aiming is always harder than horizontal one, but you should try to really hide as much as you can. Cool.
Would have been better for me to be on the low ground with the way this team was set up, or?
I mean, if you there's one decision that you can make, that you want to try to protect a dumb teammate, and this Sigma is going really far into the enemy team, so you might be able to salvage him. Generally, I don't recommend that though, because I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I suppose that you are not in a group with him.
Oh no! This is me and Yeti are the only ones here, and I did not join team chat because of gold toxicity.
Wait, Yeti's on Mercy? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, so I did not hop into that chat. I kind of don't do that in competitive because of my years of dealing with the toxicity. So unless I'm in a 6-stack or like a 5-stack, and then we bring in the rando into the chat, that's the only time I'll do it. But in this type of situation, I really don't go in there. Look at that sexy skin on Hog. It is great.
So, to be honest, you cannot really do much with this Sigma, even if you were fighting around here. This is not a good spot for a Sigma shield. You kind of want to go and fight back on a point to be able to pull back if needed and use this corner to your advantage to limit the line of sight of the enemy team and stuff like that. So pushing that out is kind of a mistake, and you don't really want to be there because then you are just going to get steamrolled and cannot really do much about that. So the top, I like this. You have the chance to pull back here. Just make sure that you are not exposing yourself too much. Let's see the action.
I see that Sigma dies, they're pushing in hard, and I'm like, well, I'm going to drop down, get over here, maybe help out. And then I push too far ahead and I die.
Okay. Yes,
Oops.
that was quick.
It's
So
okay.
let's look at... so we are talking about aim a little bit. Why can't you hit the targets? What do you think? Apart from not being able to aim well, because there are other things. Like we're not.
I'm a boomer. That's why.
No.
I don't. It's probably my DPI. Probably is probably one of the issues, and then also I just don't know where the general headshot areas are. That's why I'm not really good at the DPS style.
Your sense looks like it's too low.
My DPI is at 1500.
Not your DPI, just your general sense. Like it looks like it's too low.
I don't know. I could go look at that and see what it is in game real
So
quick.
looking at the crosshair placement, it's okay. You are expecting the enemy team to be there. You can quickly hit the shot, so you are not looking at the ground or on the ground. You start firing at them fairly quickly, and it feels like it's a little bit low, the sensitivity, because you are undershooting them. So if you look at the aim, what is going on, you are trying to track the target or flick to the target, but you don't reach the hero model. This is called undershooting and can be fixed with a higher sensitivity, or if you don't try to track but try to rely on flicks a little bit more, because that is a more like a higher velocity movement, which is based on reaction instead of just trying to match the enemy model. Some shots in the shield, can't really talk much about that. You kind of keep on the targets, that's what I wanted to see. You are moving around, which is of course always a good thing. You want to try to dodge. Sometimes when players move around, they throw themselves off because you are not adjusting to your movements. You need to pay attention to that. We are talking about mechanics a lot here because hit scans are mostly about that.
And I have none of it.
When you hit
You do.
Hit the ash.
hit the ash, yeah.
I did
the
it.
ash a few times, but yeah, it seems like you are slow to react to their movements, which is a sign of low sensitivity. Also, what I want to mention is that you jump around, which really throws off the aim. So I wouldn't do that. It doesn't really give you much against an ash. If there was a Widowmaker, maybe, but it's generally not a good idea to jump around, and it really messes you up. And then when you jump down from this position, try to pull back as much as you can. So instead of jumping into the path of the enemy team, it should have been a little bit earlier and not towards them, but back as much as you can, trying to again do the same thing. Try to limit the exposure, cut the line of sight, and maybe set up here or better here and use the diva as a meat shield.
Yeah, I did not pull back far enough.
Yeah.
I recognize that, and so it was just poor positioning. I think at this point I swapped to a Hanzo. I don't think I stay on the McCree.
To be honest, there wasn't too much to do. Like, you can't really stop the full push of the enemy team single-handedly after the Sigma exposed himself that much. Bless you.
Bless you.
Yeah. So, any other setting that you want us to check in this one?
Well, my setting in game is 7.8.
7.8? What's the DPI?
And DPI should be run. I think 1500. Which one is it? Should be the Logitech button. Where's the Logitech?
7.8.
The Logitech button.
Well, that's what tells me what the frick my DPI is.
1500 for the DPI?
DPI is 1100.
Oh.
And then I have an 800 as well that I could drop down to. So yeah, it used to be 1500, and then Baggins bullied me and made fun of me for having 1500 DPI, so I dropped it.
I have 2000.
I think he wanted you to go higher. Yeah.
I mean, when you're figuring out the DPI, it's really just about the space in the operating system. Like, usually when you have a non-cheap Chinese mouse, you can go with high DPI because the sensor is going to be able to handle the load, so to say. With cheap mice, they just tell you that they have 1200, like a lot of DPI, 12,000, and then the sensor is really bad. So you can go high. I have 2000 because I have a 3-monitor setup and I want to be able to just go from one place to the other. So whatever feels well in the operating system, that's the recommended, and then you adjust the sensitivity in the game. I would try going a little bit harder just by seeing what you have been doing. So yeah, I think that's it. Any other situations in this one?
I mean,
hello.
There's,
Hello.
I mean, you could watch the Hanzo one. It's fairly short if you wanted to,
Sure.
but then after that, it's just all Junkrat, and we can come back to that one if we're desperate. So
We have someone posting on the chat, which is a first, so we're going to check that out soon.
sounds good.
Can I put a code? Yes, yes, you can.
Let you do.
I was reading the YouTube thing.
Okay.
So, what about this position?
Pop this out.
It's at a weird angle. I thought it'd work out well. And I thought that since I fired tree trunks, it would do something.
Why did you
So-
drop from the cherished high ground?
Yes, Obi-Wan. Why did you give up the high ground?
Because I'm a Shimada brother and I just go in. I don't know. I was wanting to get more of a straight angle because I thought that the high ground angle wasn't working. I wasn't able to aim vertically, so I thought maybe I could do better horizontally,
Okay.
which does not work. So yeah.
I will say, if you'd taken the high ground right over the, I think, the bank. What is that? The saloon or the bank? The building to your left. It's much better high ground. Okay, so it right over here is because they only have a Sigma for a shield, and that's very easy to run around if you take the high ground. Because he's either forced to put a shield up to block you and leave 5 other people open to smacking the rest of his team,
Mm-hmm.
or
That's
it's
true.
they block whatever's there and you get free reign on damage with like little to no pressure. Because
Yep.
what do they have? Like the Ash and the McCree, but that means they have to turn your attention up, which also means there's still the Doomfist who can walk in freely now because he's got less to worry about.
The
What is that
frick?
on the Ash?
Is that her hat going inside out?
What?
And her hair. Okay.
That's glorious right there. She's bald. Oh my gosh. It's a
Sorry.
toupee. I knew it.
Okay.
Nobody's hair is that
Go away from there.
But yeah, no, I didn't take the high ground because of, I guess, the fear of the range people looking up, and then also of my vertical aim status.
Okay.
But that's where
Trying
you
to
get
go
to
back
abuse
here.
your storm arrow and treat it like a hit scan.
True.
Yeah, so then this explanation is really, really good here. While the idea is good that you are creating a crossfire, and Hanzo is really, really a lot about creating crossfires, as well as other DPS, but Hanzo has the mobility to deal with any kind of aggression that comes to your way. So you can just go around and do what Dandy explained, try to bait a shield or use the lack of shield to your own advantage. But you can do that safely from the high ground generally. They are going to be closer, so it's easier to land your shots. And also, one other thing I want to mention is that you should really go more active with the abilities that you have. So the Sonic Arrow is not really useful in a situation like this because you have a huge line of sight. You are set up well, but it's not that easy for the rest of your team, so they might not know who is coming in through this choke. You can set that up for them to help them with the vision. And also, if you see the enemies grouped up like this, you can just go with the Storm and just do general damage in their direction. It helps with your ult. It can get you some quick and easy kills on the enemy team. So that is something that you can do. Paying more attention to being resource effective, efficient with the resources, something like that. Because now you're using the abilities, but they are like going into the shield mostly.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is where I would not try and help the Brig here, only because she's in a bad spot anyway. She's dead. So that's where I would have turned to your right and just sprawled my way up to the roof of the saloon.
Yeah.
And just taken picks from there. And if you had to, easy retreat back down the behind that building.
Yeah, my positioning on DPS is way too far forward. So
yeah,
and I'm not repositioning well.
A bit.
On some DPS, I'm sure it's a bit better. But Hanzo, you can't play that far forward.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
You have the range, so you want to depend on the range. And what we can also see from this overlay, and this is really useful, is the little where the enemies are looking. And right now, I mean, we discussed that you can be on the high ground, but it's not too bad because they are not looking at you. And then what should be the trigger for you to pull back and start going back is when they start turning towards you, like this one.
Oh my god. How split this team is.
Yeah. All over
That
the
hurts
place.
a little bit. Yeah.
We're great.
So you see the front line going down, the Sigma getting killed, and this should give you an idea that I shouldn't be here. That Sigma is not going to be saved. So
No.
then, because they are looking at your direction, you are going to be the next target, and you should really feel bad about that if you're playing a DPS. Just get the hell out of there as soon as you can.
Not
should
feel bad,
feel
but you should
bad.
have a
I
bad
should feel
feeling.
bad.
Yeah,
No, you gotta be Han Solo here. I got a bad feeling
bad
about
feeling.
this.
Yes,
Get the
yeah, that's
heck
right.
out.
That's the proper
just-
wording.
I'm just like, never tell me the odds, and then I go forward. I'm like, well, there goes the odds.
Yeah. Like if you feel more than 2 pair of eyes on you, you just really should flee as quickly as you can. Not your place then. And especially with any kind of hero that has a huge range. And with Hanzo you can be as far away as you want to.
Okay.
Cool. So let's look at the next one from the chat. Whiskers, are you here on Discord as well? Or not? Probably not.
I have no idea.
Mayhaps. Do you
Perhaps
guys prefer Torb or Kriva? It doesn't matter. You whatever hero you want to work on is what you want us to send in. Or
Replay
send in
not
to us
found.
rather.
Replay not found.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh
no.
no.
Yeah, I double checked. This is the one.
Oh no.
This should be a live from the latest batch. And then only that works.
Yeah. The other ones do not. Yeah.
What shall we look at? Do
You
you
could
have
look
anything
at
else?
You could look at my Junkrat.
Junkrat, okay.
Mm.
Is that the last one?
Yeah, it's the one I stick with for the rest of the match because they don't have a Zarya, so I can't be yelled at for feeding the Zarya charge.
Because if you can
So-
send a different one, we should be able to look at it. I'm not sure if you have it.
Oh no, no, no! Why are you on Horizon? No, this is even worse. No, my nightmares.
Is this the one?
Oh, we can go on this one. I play Ash, and it's
Oh,
garbage.
Whisker says it's 22 hours ago code.
That's
Okay.
interesting.
But that was I think that was after the patch update, wasn't it?
Possibly. I don't know. All mine have been erased.
What's our patch?
Alien's lucky he got the 3 he got because Jeffrey told me no more.
Jeffrey told me no more.
I'm only allowed to have 2 replays per day.
What?
These should,
Yeah.
They should work cross server, so that's not an issue. It should be the timing. So
Bro.
let's look at this one. So what shall we look at? First team fight?
Sure. I mean, it's all garbage, but yeah, we can watch the first one.
All right. Or we just watched a few first team fights. So let's see somewhere where you are ulting maybe in the fight.
Oh, Lord, Bob never. I only think I used Bob once in this entire thing.
Yeah, this should be a nice one. I think you used Bob here.
Yes, I did.
Well, if you only used Bob once, I think that nicely tells us that you weren't landing enough dynamites.
You know what? Okay.
It's a
I-
coaching tip. I'm
To
telling
that.
you, if you want to build Bob fast, you have to use a lot of dynamites.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Because her dynamite builds Bob faster than
Yeah.
actually shooting people does.
I know. It was a
Ah.
matter of trying to find where to hit those
6 out of
blasted
10.
dynamites.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
it's a pain.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's
So-
the same thing with Hanzo. Like you want to be on top of your ability usage. Staying with the previous example, and trying to do as much damage to the enemy team as possible. Because yes, you're feeding some of the enemy's support ults, but usually if you are
Your
able
gain
to
is
set
better
up, yeah,
Hmm.
you are going to gain a longer term benefit from it. Cool. So
Yeah,
let's
7th
see this
player.
one.
This is gonna go so bad. Because I don't use dynamite that often.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
should.
think.
You should be using it off cooldown as much as
Well,
you can.
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to dodge the diva as well. Trying to
Yeah,
make sure she
but-
doesn't eat it.
I mean,
It just burn her out of the mech.
yeah.
I think the dynamite helps to create space for you.
It does.
Yep.
As long as the
People tend
diva
to avoid
doesn't
it.
eat it.
Even if a
Yeah,
diva
I
eats it, that's going
You
to help
burn
the rest of the
some of-
team.
Her defense
Okay.
matrix by
Yeah.
doing that.
True.
Ball.
Yeah, see? Quick
Hi.
death right there.
Hello.
Did you submit your VOD, Gabe?
Oh, okay, it's working now.
Yes, you're
Hello.
good.
Woo! Hello.
So let's
How you doing,
look
buddy?
at this one again, maybe from here. So,
Here.
how do you want to use the bob generally?
You probably want to use it to do. This is one ultimate I really don't know. You would probably want to use them in several different kind of scenarios, but
Mhm.
maybe in this particular one, maybe sending them straight up the middle to try and get them off the high ground would probably be the best approach. But my thought was like, you know what? Let's put him on the point so that maybe people turn around to the point, and then he failed to stay on the point, and so
Mhm.
that kind of
Oh.
screws up. So that was my idea going into this. And so
Okay. Ooh, that Mercy should die. She's one.
Yep.
She's not one. No.
Go Mercy, go.
Go Mercy.
yeah, I sent Bob in to go and help with the point contest since we're a bit spread out to maybe unify everybody onto the point.
Mhm.
Hmm?
So I don't know. I tried to put him in a place where he could still do damage but be semi-protected.
Mhm. You really want to worry about Bob's protection in a situation like this?
I love Bob. Bob will stay alive, but probably not. No, he's just a
him stay.
distraction.
He's not even golden. He's not worth that much.
Okay.
Oh!
Oh.
25
That
years.
does it, mate.
Sorry.
I'm burning my comp points. I'm doing it right now. If I have it, it's happening.
That's the best in this
I'll
one.
help you.
I am going in. Let's see, a hero gallery. Ash,
actually
where are
gonna
you? Here we go. Ash, I only have 2,700. Dang it. Okay. Now I have to
farm the rest
grind
of them
comp.
later.
Yes, you will.
I'll help you, Tom.
Mark my
Okay.
words, alien. See how this is going. Yeah, look at him. He's so sad. I'm not golden. Get it, Bob. Anyways.
Alright, but back to the topic. You shouldn't really worry about the protection of Bob because he is he's rarely killed. Usually just being ignored if that's possible or slept.
Or if the team
Yeah,
does
yeah,
enough
they
damage,
don't
they'll
have
melt
an
him
Ana.
anyway.
Yeah.
True.
But you shouldn't have to worry about keeping him alive. He's really there as a distraction, and two, if someone's really low, just to pick them off super easy.
Mhm.
Or he's there. You could throw him into a tank to throw them into the air and bully them a little bit. That diva's pretty
Yeah.
low. It looks like he was gonna eat her mech.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I helped take Diva out of mech a little bit.
Yeah, there she goes.
Yeah.
And then I get lifted.
That is
Yep.
unfortunate, I gotta say.
Yeah.
But you don't
Yep.
die, do you?
Not right away.
No.
No.
Not on his way down.
Ooh.
No.
The
It's
signal is
after-
targeting you. Yeah. So regarding the placement of the Bob, the same principle applies as before with Hanzo. You basically have a tool, a one-man army to create a crossfire. So you can force the enemy players into a situation where they have to decide where they want to defend. Usually they are not defending from the Bob's side if you place the Bob well, and you should try to find a place where the Bob is able to get the line of sight on most of the enemy team, which is, if they are on the point, this is a nice one. So you can also do this to really try to check out where the Bob can see. So regarding that, it's not bad. Like, you are on the top, the Bob is creating a diversion, so that works. You should really try to go for low targets if that's possible. So if you feel, let's see if you see the Mercy, for example.
Oh,
I
probably not. No.
I feel like you are focused on just doing upfront face damage to the enemy team. But with Ashe, it's important to have your target priorities and try to go for the backline, because generally you have the tools to access the backline unless you are like really being pushed. Like I said, here goes the dynamite. Turns the enemy team. You try to kill the D.Va. D.Va is not really a good target for you. Like, even if the mech is down, it's not that important for you.
No, I can't hit small things, so I shoot the big things.
Oh, okay.
It's a compensation issue.
Yeah, the Junkrat, for example, is a lot better target because you should be able to handle him more easily and quickly. It's unfortunate that you basically eat the Sigma's ult. Not much to do about that. Is there any situation where you want to hold back and don't want to use the Bob? Like,
Probably a lost team fight, more than likely.
yeah.
Like, I don't think I honestly don't know if using Bob in this situation was the best idea, because I don't know if we were all there, because we
Let's
do
check that.
lose a
Bless
chunk of our team.
Oh, sorry, those are kisses.
Oh,
But thank you.
So like,
My cat is here.
so far, I mean, our Roadhog was like a great feeder. He was awesome. So he would always be somewhere where we can't support him.
Sorry.
So I think changing to something else probably would have been better. So, and so basically everybody left at that point and went down to the ground. So I think I used Bob too early. I think it's one of the other issues as well. So
maybe, yes. You kind of have to think about the enemy ult as well. The Zen can counter the Bob easily if you don't have any other kill ults, that is.
or Anna.
Yeah.
Ja, du didn't have an.
yeah, I didn't think about the Zen ult.
So any kind of defensive ult that can build up, if you can expect that, then don't send the Bob in. If you feel like you are down a few people, the Bob can still turn the tides. But generally, as with other rules, you want to use it in a same level situation or from an advantage.
Okay.
Yep. Like, generally, placing him on a point is good because it also forces the enemy team to make sure that they stay on the point, which gives Bob good targets, generally. And that's it, I think.
Yeah. This went south really fast.
While the high ground here is good, and you first down the enemy team to the low ground, so I was trying to say that you can also get here, maybe here, to get a good line of sight. You are far away from the enemy team. You have the range to work on the enemy team from here, from a safe position. It's and especially against the D.Va, if the D.Va mech is still up. Okay, weird things are happening here. So if the D.Va mech is still up, that means that you are going to be threatened by any kind of dive that can come to you. So in situations like when you are getting forced back, you can create a crossfire, just the same principle again from a different spot. You don't want to be here, for example, because that's too close to the enemy team. So rely on range, try to create crossfires, and try to work with the ult from a same situation or an advantage, same team count situation. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Anybody else with any replays? Feel free to send them in.
Did you have one, Gabe?
I don't know if I said Torb or Cree.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Whichever one that you want us to
Give
coach you
me
on.
a Torb then.
Ooh, that's
Okay.
gonna be fun.
Do.
Clip's gonna be sad he missed this.
Yeah, he will be, sucker. Spilo won't review your Sombra or your Tor, but Alien, heck.
Alien will.
Yeah, why not?
Torb's busted right now with the right. I know. I feel he's super strong.
You can make him work, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how well you know him.
Yeah.
Because the E is like a get out of free card.
That's true.
Oops. not this
Kind
one.
of.
Mhm.
Was it a cat?
Yeah, my cat. Sorry.
Hello, kitty.
Your cat's crying for attention.
Yeah, she's playing with some plastic bags.
Oh.
Don't get stuck in the plastic bags like a turtle,
Yeah,
okay?
Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck.
Don't be a turtle, cat.
Oh no. That made me a little sad for a minute.
Okay, so
Oh,
Junkertown
probably
defense. Where do you want to set up?
Ideally.
Mm-hmm.
I just set up like where did I set up? There was like in front, so I couldn't like put my turret like in the like on the bridge.
Here.
So I just put it like in front of them.
So what do you try to achieve with the turret? Like generally.
Like to deny flanks most of the time.
Okay, yeah, that's one use. Anything else that comes to mind?
I mean, a lot. It can do constant damage,
Mm-hmm.
pressure.
So, saying that, what do you think about the turret blades there on the top?
Good puzzle.
I mean, I thought it would like suit the people in the high ground, but it got destroyed instantly.
Yeah. Okay. So when we are placing turrets, you should really think about how quickly it can go down. But this is kind of the same as with your own position. If you stand up here, the enemy team is going to see you first, kinda. Because they don't want to shoot the shield, they want to shoot something that shoots back and can be killed easily. So the turret is going to go down really quickly. And it doesn't really achieve anything for you because it goes down in 1 second, kinda. It shot, I don't know, 10 shots. You gained 6% of your ult charge, but that's also from your basic attacks. So not much value for this one. Let's figure
It's
out
okay.
something that might be more viable. Any other position that comes to mind?
I mean, I could put it with the Rusa,
Mm-hmm.
but then the shield is going like the shield goes down very fast. But it would have survived longer, I guess.
Could
Yeah.
I make a suggestion?
Yep.
On top of the Mega, to the Orisa's left.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not an immediately available space for them to see it. And if they go to push up, they'll have free damage on top of, or you get free damage on top of them because they're busy with the fight. And if anyone goes to take the health pack, they're going to have to go into the turret to get it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Also, you
It's-
steal the first health back.
Yes.
So it works
It's
like
hacking it, but without hacking.
yeah,
Yeah.
it works like if the turret is getting damaged, then it picks up the health back
Torgrim
for
is a
itself.
Sombra.
Kinda.
Yes.
Did Turk pick up the health pack?
Yes.
What? Wait, did they add that or?
No, I think
I
it
didn't
was
know that.
it was in the game from the beginning.
What the?
Unless
Okay, I
they
never
took
knew
it
that.
out. Am I right?
They
with
might have
this?
patched that out.
Okay, yeah.
Let's
I
try it.
think they patched
Let's try it after this one. I'm really interested. Okay. So yeah, that's a good one. So you want to have them guessing a little bit. You either go in here, and because you have 2 shields, they are going to take their time to break that. So
Okay.
placing the turret here, maybe a little bit farther back, just to make sure that it can also touch the high ground if that's needed. But then you can do raw damage to the enemy team, which is helpful in a lot of situations, like if you want to control this part of the map. But as Dandy suggested, anything that hides the turret makes them guessing, and you can use that to your advantage, or you can go and try to create a crossfire with your turret. So,
No.
because it's here, it's not going to shoot at anyone until they reach a certain point, and then it shoots from here, you are here, and they have to make a decision. And anytime you force the enemy team to make a decision, it's a good opportunity for you to go in and abuse any kind of bad decisions or mistakes that they make because of that.
Yeah.
Cool, and that's just about the turn.
That's not even talking about you yet.
Cool.
Oh, this is Danger Town. I feel the danger.
Yep.
Hmm.
Because I'm a survivor.
Your aim isn't bad though, I gotta say.
Yeah, you hit the targets nicely. Anything that you guys can notice here? Any
Oh my god.
mishaps?
This soldier is aggressive as heck.
Yeah.
You guys are definitely pushed up a little far forward, especially with their monkey diving your backline and then running out.
What were you hoping to do with that turn placement?
Oh, I thought the soldier was chasing me, so that would deter him from chasing me
Fair enough.
because I was low.
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
There's a big old ripperoonie.
Okay, so let's try to take this apart. Who you are targeting is the widow right now, and then you see the soldier and you target the soldier, then try to flee, maybe the monkey, maybe back to the soldier, but there's a
Big
shield.
It's okay.
Then you deploy the turret to deny any chase.
I'm surprised I didn't get more damage off on that Widowmaker.
Yeah.
Because she chased him around that same corner. Unless she'd, like, bolted over it.
I'm not sure what happened to the turret, to be honest. Somebody took it out, maybe. No,
I
it's
couldn't make it
still
through
slow.
university.
The monkey got it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the monkey was occupied with the turret, so that's good.
Poor Mercy, she's moving the fatal like herself.
I like how you only focus on the mercy.
I'm trying to learn something from you too.
Okay, yeah, so regarding the team's positioning, it was a little bit too forward. Generally, you want to try to set up here on the top. It's hard.
Yeah, on the bridge.
Yeah, on the bridge. You can also place the turret here, so it's better protection if you have the shields. And then,
Yeah, that's why I didn't place it there.
and then like trying to focus on the same target can help if you can do so.
Focus fire is very important in Overwatch.
That's right. When you're just doing general damage, that can be healed back. So we are going for kill potential with most of the DPS. Is this a warm-up thing that you do? Like the back and forth shooting style that you have here? Just for
wait, I'm
fun?
watching the YouTube video, so.
Oh, okay. You can check the Discord. That's more live.
Discord.
There's
Yeah.
a stream going on in the Discord. That's how we're all watching this.
Yeah.
Man, it's not showing up for me. Just saying.
Are you on mobile or are you actually it should show up on mobile anyway?
I'm on the web browser, I guess.
Web browser? Yeah, it should still show up. So if you see next to Alien's name it says live, and then it'll have a thing that says join stream. If you scroll over it.
Maybe where you reset it. Yeah, I don't see anything. Just says
Okay.
nothing.
That's right, kitty.
One second,
Okay.
let me reset it.
Okay.
So if you can see the YouTube, it should play
Do you see it?
No.
few seconds. What I'm trying to point out is that the movement that you do during shooting is really ineffective. Like you go back and forth instead of just trying to keep on the target. Let's slow this down so we can be sure to see this. So this up and down, it can throw you off. It's really hard to hit any target properly. You're just like doing general damage instead of trying to kill a soldier, for example, anything like that.
Okay.
Then when you stop, you start focusing on the Widowmaker, you stop doing that, so that's why I asked, maybe it's just a
Oh,
warm-up
you mean the
thing.
up and down thing?
Yeah.
Ah. Why do I don't even know why I do that. I guess it's a habit.
Okay. Yeah, if you can pay attention to not do that, it can help with landing the shots even more precisely.
Mm.
So anything that, like, we develop these bad habits. We move around a lot. We jump around. Like you see Tone jumping around.
Always have to bring me back, don't you? You can't just
Yes.
leave me alone.
I mean, you are here for hearing mistakes, so
Oh gosh, okay. You win.
you're
You win.
you're the scapegoat here.
Oh, scapegoat. I get you because I liked goats meta. I got you, fam. I see where this is going. I see where this is going.
That's not what he was implying, but if the glove
Oh, it
fits.
was. It was. It was.
And this back and forth thing comes back here as well. So you go down, you go to the target, go down, go to the target. You might be able to have a higher DPS, like damage output, if you just keep on the same target. I think
Okay.
that's it from this one. So third placement is really important, and then try to stick with the team pool back in time if possible. Same as with what we saw in Hollywood with Tones McCree, to make sure that you realize that the enemy team is now pushing in. They have a dive, so you can go back to the back line and help them against the Monkey and Diva, for example, because you can just E and then click heads if that's
I just shoot them in the face.
yeah.
Yes.
You can do a lot of damage up front, so healing is always a good thing with Torb. Cool. Anything else you want us to look at in this one? Any team fight?
I mean, after this, we got rolled until like the end of third point.
Mhm.
Then that's where most of the game takes place. Like if you check the VOD, most of the game's in third point end.
Oh.
Then we got then we couldn't push first point and then we lost.
Oh.
Let's see that. Let's see the first push. On the other
Junkertown's
side.
a rough map, I gotta say.
Yeah,
It's not that bad though.
it is.
I've
It is
lived through
really,
rougher.
really open. So
Hmm.
You wouldn't say is it a good Torb map or not really?
It's got a lot of good open sight lines. But you have to know how to like abuse like the small tight corners where your turret may not be able to be seen, or put it in really inconvenient locations where their team has to kind of like divert their attention to go get it.
Mhm.
So I'd say like spend like a couple minutes going through like all the maps in a custom game and just kind of figure out where you can abuse angles from.
And find good Torb turret spots.
Yeah.
There are also videos on YouTube on good spots if you don't want to do it on yours.
I would
on
be
your own.
careful of the older videos though, because some of
Yeah.
those spots might have been patched out.
True that. They can give you a general idea about what people are looking for when placing turrets. So what
Yes.
kind of entrance? Because when you are thinking about flankers, blocking flankers, for example, or going against a sniper, setting up against a sniper, stuff like that. So there are multiple decisions that you can make. You just have to make your mind up. The most brute force approach is, of course, always to try to go behind shields if that's possible, and then just let the turret do his work. Or its work. Yeah, I have been coaching for, 5 hours now, so getting get tired a little bit.
A little bit.
I usually stop, like, I lose my ability to speak English at this time. You can hear
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I have a turn off switch for English too. It's pretty good. It's a good time. Mine's usually off though most of the time, so that's no big brain thing.
I mean,
Yeah, so you see here the tanks are in our spawn. I don't know.
Their tanks are in your spawn.
Yeah.
yeah, we are desynced. Yeah, Thorburn is good for breaking positions like that. You can do a lot of damage. You just stir it yourself with the E and then
He makes
try
his own
to-
crossfires.
Yeah, kinda. With the turret. And if you just boost your DPS with the E, you can break through whatever is in front of you if they are close. So can be used like that. Well, that's...
I wouldn't worry too much about keeping it up either, because if you're putting it on like a distraction angle, somewhere where they have to turn around and divert their attention to go kill it, the worst comes to worst, like the turret goes down, and it's 10 seconds you have to think about putting it somewhere else.
Yeah, it's just because sometimes like when it's off cooldown, I'm like, oh, let me place it here so you can do damage because it's not doing damage right now.
Yeah, you can spend an extra few seconds to figure out how you can benefit the most from it. But,
Ooh, don't peek, don't peek, don't peek, don't peek, don't peek.
yeah. Gonna do all the Widowmaker.
I hear the French line and I'm like, nope, 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 nope. His ult is really good though, I gotta say. I really like his ult.
Yeah,
It's
really
a better.
useful.
I like
the best rework.
I like the rework, yeah. It's a really good rework.
Oh, you are
No!
building the Widowmaker.
I mean, you technically can, you have no fall off, but at the same time, you are a very short and a very small and very stout hitbox.
Yeah, definitely
That's-
you can do that. You need to be in really good control of your aim. Like the drop off is the biggest thing here.
Or make sure you got a shield.
Yeah, that works.
Because your hitbox for your head is pretty big here,
So
if I remember right.
yeah, Torbjorn's head is big. So after you solve the issue of not being able to leave your spawn, I think you were able to do a lot of damage here. Keeping on the targets, not really... Like even when you're exposed you can just hit the E and be safe, kinda. Get
And then
away.
you use it aggressively here, which I like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You are melting the enemy tanks up close.
very
That's
nice.
your fight.
Oh no, oh no. My anxiety kicks in every time. Like,
Yeah, cool. Okay, I really want to get into the game to see if I can mess the turret up. How should I do that?
I have a lobby made on NA if you'd like to come over and join
Nice.
us.
Okay.
Yeah.
if you
Cool.
want to come over here.
You come over to the
Come over
west
there.
side of town.
Yeah, bro.
Yes, we. Bruh.
Oh, bruh.
Bruh.
Okay. Just a second. Big black screen on streams. I'm going to start it up
Yes.
again.
Da, 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 da.
Da, 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 da.
Ba, 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 ba,
Look, you
ba,
see?
ba, 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 da, da, da,
Doing
ba,
that.
da,
Did you just start the game? Hang on. Wait, is he here?
Yeah, he's here. He's in
Okay,
the
just
lobby.
I
He's on
just-
your blasted team.
Okay, listen here, pal.
I'm just saying, like, freaking pay attention.
No,
Yes.
no,
No.
This is a demo.
no. I refuse.
Sorry about the lag.
It's okay.
It's not
Dude.
acceptable, alien.
I don't notice any lag, but okay.
I'm lagging.
Oh no, on
badly.
your side, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
He's,
so
he's
sorry.
EU. Okay.
Shoot it.
Ah!
It doesn't take the.
No.
But you do have to be on top of it to take it. Oh, you can't. Wait, we can walk through it, but they can't.
Can you walk through it?
I don't know. I'm almost dead.
let
Give
me
me a
see.
second.
Ah, no.
No,
No,
you
probably
can.
You picked it up.
You can pick it up. Yeah. Okay. I missed when they.
Oh,
I
But
just-
you
turret
do have
doesn't
to
take it.
be. You have to be right on top of it to pick it up, though.
Yeah, kinda. I have to
Yeah.
go close.
It's not worth it.
Honestly, it still is kind of worth it.
Really?
I would say so.
I know. I mean, it's not worth it for you to try to pick it up.
Oh,
the
not.
health
It's
pack.
not worth it to pick it up, but it's worth it to put it down here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I'm getting
yeah.
at.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was more fun where you could pick up the health pack. I'm a bit sad now.
Oh.
Wow, I get ganged up by both of you.
That's right. That's right.
Losers.
Okay,
Try and
cool.
do an honorable hammer 1v1. Do infra.
We are the Scooby Gang, taking up on miseries.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
With busters.
That's right. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up.
Woo.
Be right back. To anybody watching the stream still, thank you for being here with us. And next time, if you want to join us, you can feel free to get here on Discord. Sorry for the lag at the end. Not sure what happened. See you guys in the next one.